Hello and good morning everyone. Today I am Hardeepsingh Nanra from SS Institute of Management Studies is going to discuss about the topic on types of demand. So the demand is the very foundation of economic and business strategy. It helps us to analyze consumer behavior, making corporate decisions and formulate government policies. Demand plays a crucial role in shaping market outcomes. So today we will take a deep dive into various dimensions of demand by exploring different types of demand that influence industries, businesses and consumer behavior. But beyond just theory, we will connect this concept to real world scenarios allowing us to appreciate how demand impacts business sustainability and economic growth. So let's just begin. So, before understanding different types of demand, it is essential to establish a foundation and get to know what demand actually is. So, in a simplest form, demand is the willingness and ability of consumer to purchase a goods and service at a given price point in a given time. However, demand is not static. It constantly fluctuates due to various economic and psychological aspects. For example, an economic downturn may reduce demand for luxury goods while increasing demand for essential commodities. Similarly, technological innovations can reshape demand patterns as seen in case of electric vehicles that replace traditional gasoline powered cars. Demand is a dynamic force and understanding its different forms helps to businesses and policymakers to anticipate party trends and make informed decisions, which may lead to growth of a business and a country as well. So there are different kind of demand. Uh, one type of demand is firm and industry demand. So from corporate perspective, demand operates on two levels: firm demand and industry demand. A single firm must understand how much of its product and services will be demanded at a different price level that factors in business trend, competitive pricing, and market positioning. However, no firm operates in isolation. Its demands is influenced by overall industry in which it competes. For example, if a small scale business owner is trying to sell some product in the market and he is selling it for 10 rupees, the price that he has selected for his product, which is 10 rupees, is influenced by the market for the firm. So consider we can also consider automotive sector. A company like Tesla has its own demand driven by brand loyalty, product innovation, and marketing efforts. However, the overall electric vehicle industry is experiencing demand due to environmental concerns, government policies, and advancement in battery technology. So, a firm can outperform industry demand trends by differentiating itself, but it cannot ignore broader industry itself. Recognizing this balance helps business navigate competition and sustain growth. Second kind of demand is uh, demand at consumer level or market level, or we can say individual and market demand. So each consumer has its own set preferences, financial capabilities, and decision making factors that influence their purchasing behavior. For instance, a consumer might choose an affordable smartphone over a high-end model due to budget constraint, while another might prioritize advanced features over price. However, when we aggregate these individual choices across an entire number of population, we arrive at a market demand, a macro level perspective that business rely on to make production and pricing decisions. A great example of this is the shift of consumer demand for healthier food alternatives. Initially a niche market, health conscious consumers created a small but growing demand for organic products. As it as as this demand scaled, it transformed into a market wide movement, leading major food brands to adjust their offerings. For businesses, recognizing this difference between individual preference and market wide trends is a key to strategic decision making and product positioning. So, nature of demand also plays a very important role. According to nature, the demand is derived into two, that is direct demand and derived demand. So, not all demand is created equally. Some are directly some are direct and immediate while others are emerging and indirect. So, in direct demand, the demand arises when the product is purchased from its end user by consumer. For instance, buying a laptop for personal use is a great example, uh, that the product has purchased for our own use directly. There is no complementary product which may need to use the laptop. However, on the other end, indirect or derived demand exists when the product demand stems from its roles as an input and as an input for other goods and services. We can say in indirect demand, a product is purchased, but for its connectivity or interconnectedness or interdependentness with the other product or other service that that the individual has to use. So, for example, the semiconductor industry is a prime example for it. Uh, demand for microchip is not due to consumer wanting chips directly, but because they are essential components for smartphone, laptops, and electric vehicles. So, the company doesn't directly sells the chips to the consumer, but the phone or the laptop or the electric vehicles they purchase from the manufacturers, the chip makers sold the electrical chips to them, semiconductor chips to them. So the semiconductor chips are not being directly purchased by the end consumer, but they are purchased by the end consumer in some way or form indirectly. So understanding derived demand is critical for business that is operating in B2B markets. If automaker suddenly experiences a downturn, chip manufacturers will inevitably feel the ripple effect, even if their own market conditions remains unchanged. Due to downturn in electric vehicle market, there may be shortage of chips. Anticipating such interdependencies in demand is crucial for business managing supply chains and forecasting future production needs. So, to summarize this, direct demands are the product which the consumer purchase directly from the manufacturer, and derived demand are the products that one or the other product needs to be used for their own functioning. Mostly, derived demands are B2B markets and not B2C markets. And next type of demand is perishable and durable goods demand. So, another critical aspect of demand is distinction between perishable and durable goods, which directly affects consumer purchasing behavior, production planning, and pricing strategy. So, knowing the lifespan of the product is essential for any kind of business in order to make long term decisions and create profitability for their own organization. So, perishable goods have a short shelf lifespan, while durable goods have a longer lifespan in comparison to perishable goods. Perishable goods is highly time sensitive and price elastic products. These items includes such as in this items such as fruits, vegetable, dairy products, flowers can be included. For example, a bakery selling fresh bread must predict daily demand accurately. Any excess stock at the end of the day leads to wastage, which will leads to loss for the bakery. So while the bakery has to make some profits with it, it has to predict the daily demand of the consumer accurately and as precisely as possible. So if they underestimate the demand, they may lose chance to make potential sales. And if they overestimate the demand, they might incur loss in form of wastage of the products. And another example we can take as fresh fruits and vegetable experience seasonal demand shift. For like example, mangoes sell at a premium pricing during the time of summer, during the time of their peak season, that is summer. But as soon as winters or rain starts to happen, the demand for them stops or declines, and thus the pricing of them also declines. So the key challenge for the business is managing the inventory and supply chain efficiently. And for the business that are built on perishable goods, they must optimize their logistics and prevent spoilage, and ensure that the product is delivered just in time to avoid any losses and make profits for the organization. And second type of demand, goods demand, is durable goods demand, that is also considered as long term lifespan demand. So durable goods has a long lasting lifespan, and they don't get spoiled and they can't be consumed immediately. This includes car, appliances, electronics, and furniture. Because they require significant investment, their demand is influenced by economic condition, interest rate, and consumer confidence. For example, during economic downturns, consumer may delay purchasing a new car or washing machine, leading to temporary dip in demand. Conversely, in demands of economic prosperity, demand for durable goods rises as consumer feels more financially secure and willing to make long-term investment for themselves. So companies dealing in durable good must plan for demand fluctuation caused by economic cycle and ensure they have flexible pricing and financing options to maintain sales stability. So demand also comes in a short term and long term demand. So demand fluctuates not only across the sector but over time too. Businesses must differentiate between short term demand shifts and long term demand shifts to make sound strategic decisions. In short term demands is mostly influenced by temporary factors such as promotional discounts, seasonal fluctuation, and one time events, while on the other hand, long-term demand is shaped by deeper economic and social transformation such as technological advancements and demographic shifts. So, to uh, to understand this in a more deeper level, I have created a case study on a real world example. So, in the case study one, which is Apple Orchard, a search for demand for apple during the harvest season becomes higher, and farmers increase the production of the same. And in second case study, the demand for electric vehicles has increased rapidly over recent years because of government policies and subsidies the government provides, and because of the environmental decline. So in order to counter all this, the government has created some policies that the people uses to get electric vehicles, and which helps the environment around us to be more clean and greener. So consumers are right now prioritizing food environmental impact by them, thus making demand shifts in automobile industries. So to summarize and conclude this, I would say demand is more than just numbers. It reflects consumer behavior, economic condition, and industry trends. While second point, I can say business must distinguish between short-term and long-term demand to make sound strategic decisions for themselves, which may increase their profitability over the long run. And understanding the derived demand, perishable demand, and durable demand is a crucial for supply chain management and industry resilience, because by understanding this kind of demand, the logistics and supply chain can be work efficiently, and there would be less spoilage and waste created by the organization. So that's it from my part. Thank you for your time.